My dad, 65M, is a heavy diesel mechanic and has run a small workshop his whole life. I, 29M, have always been interested in his work since I was a kid and would always help him out on the weekends. I went to university and studied mechanical engineering and commerce but struggled and dropped out and traveled the world for a year. My siblings, 36M and 32F, are both in investment banking and are successful in their careers. Since I was 23, I have worked with my dad as a mechanic and slowly taken over his workshop. When I started, he had 2 part-time mechanics and 1 car. In 2017, I have bought in several new strategies such as focusing on commercial verticals only, off-hours servicing, etc., and we have grown to 35 employees and 15 cars. We went from $250,000 in revenue to just shy of $7 million this financial year. My dad only works in the workshop while I'm more 20/80ths workshop to office split. COVID has meant our business has grown tremendously in the last few years. A few weeks ago at my dad's 65th birthday dinner, and he talked about the numbers of the business and everyone was shocked. No one in the family has ever visited our workshop or asked about it. Since then he has been thinking about the succession plan after my siblings have been asking about it. He proposed the following idea to me: I get 40% of the business, they get 30% and 30%. My sister would get a manager position as she is looking to leave the IB world to start a family, and my brother would get the same as well if he wants it. I noted everything he said and just asked for some time to think. They started proposing some of the most insane ideas without any context of the business. I'm seriously annoyed. My dad has run this for 32 years, but only since I joined did we expand. I admit I did use my dad's network, reputation, skill, and initial workshop to get a head start, but it was my idea to expand, get a bigger workshop and implement risky ideas. I don't think my siblings who have never even asked about the business should get cushy high-paying jobs for doing nothing. If we wanted a $200,000 a year manager, I would get one with industry experience. I have spoken to him briefly, but he was shocked by my reaction and said it was his dream to have all his siblings work in the business, but my brother and sister have never even picked up a spanner before in their lives. I have been hanging around since I was 12. He always said it would be mine. I don't want to have to answer to a board of my siblings who I get the vibe they think they are smarter than me just because they finished university. I built this business with just my dad and want to keep building it with him without my siblings. I can see it from their point of view, as this is a family business my dad started and my dad wants to make it more of an effort to include them, but I feel they only want to be included because we are now successful. I am being accused of being greedy and entitled by my family. I think this is ridiculous, and the business is mine after spending the last 6 years building it. I would love some outside perspective on this situation. I just wanted to give a quick update. Thank you for the amazing advice and for linking the plumber story. Reading that really scared me, and it basically happened to me. Some quick points: I can't really sell my shares or this business. We are a service business where we get paid for the work we have done and we have assets, but it's like used, dirty utes and tools, worth $100,000 new but nothing on the second market. We had a family business lawyer meeting last night and I don't know what is happening. My sister and brother had been lobbying my dad about the direction and strategy of the company before this for weeks. They feel it would be in better hands with my sister being CEO, my brother being CFO, and me as COO/glorified operations manager, and unfortunately my dad agrees with them. During the session I felt incredibly patronized. They laid out this 5-year plan and how the company would grow to be this huge entity we would own equal amounts in. They didn't talk to anyone in the actual business about this plan or even our customers. They wanted to make things standard, but the reason our customers love us is that we are flexible and accommodating. I asked a few questions to see how set my dad was in this plan and realized he was really excited. I tried to argue the current business was 50-50 my dad's and me, therefore it should be split 66%, 17%. And 17%. Their huge salaries would be better off hiring mechanics to grow. I was told everyone is replaceable by my sister. This crushed me because I don't think that's true. I have so much tacit knowledge and the 27 mechanics are loyal to me. I secured our biggest 10 customers only in the last 15 months because I have this reputation as the mechanic who went to uni and worked on the tools. I know I leverage this in the bidding process over other companies. This isn't like a public company. Everything in this industry is relationships. I've been reading The Art of War this last month and I've decided I'm not going to voice any more concerns. I'm going to go along with the plan and let my emotions mellow out and wait till I can think of some options. Editor's note: OOP made the same original post in the AITA subreddit. I am adding comments from the sub for more context. OOP was NTA based on the AITA verdict *** relevant comments ** OOP responds to a comment involving a similar story to the family business situations between the father and children *OOP ***. Wow, I can't believe there are more stories like this on Reddit, and I didn't even think about it.my issue is without me. I know my dad would have been fine just making a good salary and not expanding. I had to convince him to let us take on risk and debt to grow. My sister and brother didn't care about the business or contribute in any way, so I don't see why they should get ownership. We aren't making a profit because everything is being reinvested into the company. I'm not from the USA, so university was paid for by government loans. Even though the business is making just under 7M now, salary-wise dad made about $80,000 a year when I joined, and we pay ourselves like $150K now, which makes us good but not like uber rich. We use the profits to hire more mechanics, so we do more work so we can hire more mechanics. Each mechanic we add needs about 5 to 10K in extra tools we need to hire or a new UDA we need to buy. Commenter 2 ** Tell your dad that you spend a lot of years working with him. Explain how much you've contributed in the past 6 years. Ask for 51%. You don't want your brother and sister to outvote you in a business that they don't know. *OOP *. I understand why I don't want them to have any percent. I was told at the start that the company was mine as they never wanted anything to do it with. I'm starting to think I'm open to paying them out some cash for it, but I feel I grew this company from nothing to where we are now. When I joined, my dad worked just enough to make a $80,000 salaried. I wanted to expand and grow the company. If I left, the company would stop. I run everything from operations to sales. The two of them together couldn't do my job. OOP on his siblings' jobs, and if they enjoy their respective fields or not. *OOP *. Yes. Exactly, they choose to work in a corporate and they hate it. I feel they see this as an opportunity to make the same money and work for themselves. We have a system and culture in place that will get ruined by bringing in 2 people. I also feel they aren't entitled to the business. I built it up with the understanding it would be mine. Commenter 3 ** Your dad is being ridiculous. Suggest he sell the business and split it however he chooses. It's his business even if you helped expand it, but make it clear that you're not comfortable working in that situation. Consider whether you want to continue building your father's asset. You're not being greedy at all. He's offering you 10% of his business in consideration for the work you've done to date, plus an equal share with your siblings after that. That's not crazy unfair to you, but the work situation he's proposing is ridiculous. You shouldn't stay in a dysfunctional situation just to keep everybody happy. Oop, I understand you are saying it's his business, but honestly, I don't feel he owns 100% of the current company. I think it would be split 50-50 between him and me. OOP on his siblings' relationships with their father and success in business. OOP *. I am open to them having a percentage or a payout from my dad's half of the business. My dad and I are super close, but my dad and siblings aren't. I worked with him even while I was at uni, but they got normal jobs that paid less money. He has tried bonding with them, but he thinks the world of them. I know they are smart and successful, but they haven't achieved what they expected in life. I have tried talking to my sister and brother individually, but they dismiss me, and it's really hard not to be seen as the little brother who dropped out of uni to travel the world, you know. Commenter 4 ** NTA. Can you talk to your dad about a purchase price? Maybe 50% to you and 25% to each of your siblings, and get your dad to agree that you buy them out. That way dad gets to feel like he's giving them something, they feel like they got something, and you get to own the company yourself. IT still sucks for you, but it might work out better than trying to work with them in your company. *OOP *. I have tried, but my dad is really excited about them joining the team. I joked about them starting on the floor with the apprentices, and he laughed. They aren't the type to get dirty. My dad sees we hired a few operation people and a couple of finance people in the last year, and he doesn't understand why they can't join the office. I've tried explaining the bookkeepers and admin people get paid $65,000 and do what I tell them. I'm unsure if I should just keep editing the update or post an update as its own post. I'm finding updating this therapeutic, and it's beneficial to know that other people agree with me as everyone around me thinks I'm crazy. Unfortunately, the nuclear options needed to happen. My sister and brother came to the workshop to get onboarded last week. They both wore pastel polos to a mechanic shop and refused to shake anyone's hands because our hands were covered in grease. My dad was so excited to show them around, and let's just say none of the dudes was too impressed. I went to my mom and dad's after to talk. I expressed some thoughts and feelings, but they were so dismissive. I tried to pitch some of the ideas in the comments, slower start to joining the business, but they just felt everything would work out. I just lost it and told my dad he was a shit mechanic and I would never hire him. He is sloppy and inefficient. I asked him why is he never on the road. Why does he only work on ad hoc random issues and never works on routine repairs or servicing on our biggest clients? He is slow. He doesn't know how to use the latest tools and technology. He doesn't even know how to update the iPad checklist forms that I created at the end of the servicing, and he sometimes misses checks. I partner the first-year apprentices with him because he doesn't clean up the tools after himself properly. He doesn't wipe them down and places them back in their allocated spot for the next person. They have to do it for him. I told them I don't want to work in a family business. I have always felt like the black sheep of the family. My older siblings were close, but I felt excluded. They constantly lectured me about how I should go back and finish my degree rather than waste my life in the workshop working a dead-end job, and now after they have seen the success of this dead-end job they want to come in. I'll save Reddit from all the points, but a lot of resentment and issues came up. After that talk, I knew what I needed to do. I went to one of our biggest clients and my mentor, the CEO, 55M, of a logistic company, and told him the story. He offered me a $250,000 loan over 3 years to start my own shop. I signed the lease at our old workshop and spent all my savings on 4 cheap utes and close to $45,000 in tools. I have already confirmed with our 8 biggest customers to move to my new workshop, which is close to 65% of our total revenue. I have confirmed with 7 of our best mechanics they will move to my shop, and I'll welcome over any of the other boys once the news breaks. I just copied our previous employment contracts off a template so there is no conflict. I know this is going to blow up the family and will decimate the old business. I did try talking to my sister about the changes, but she just treated me as the little kid that got lucky. My dad was delusional and too excited to see all his kids working in the same business. To me, it was never about money or greed. During my time, my title was boss son. I just loved leading a team of solid boys working outside fixing stuff up that broke with my pops. I know the culture and business I built were gone, so I don't feel I'm destroying anything, but I feel guilty. **** Top comments **** Commenter 1 **** OP chose violence, and I'm here for it. If you're already running the place, then you should have say in these decisions. Godspeed OP, you got this. Commenter 2 **** I wonder how the geniuses are going to do when their new business implodes within weeks of them starting. They're going to have the world record of killing a successful business the quickest, and they will deserve it. They'll have no clients, few workers worth a damn, and little money to pay their massive salaries because they wouldn't listen to the one guy who actually built and knew the business. I would keep records of this and show them to business professors as a textbook example of how not to capitalize on your top asset and destroy your family business in one fell swoop. Commenter 3 **** Good for you. You did a great job standing up for yourself. I'm sorry your dad couldn't see and appreciate all the hard work you've put into the business. Best of luck in your new business. Keep us updated on how your family reacts. Oh, if your sister pitches a fit, tell her I thought everyone wore replaceable. Commenter ****. Please let this be one of those posts where Oop comes back 5 years later with an update, something along the lines of my siblings destroyed the family business, but my multi-million-dollar shop started from a $250,000 loan is doing great. Commenter ***5 ***. Something tells me that they're no longer going to be interested in the family business when it's no longer making a profit. Commenter **6 ***. You could not be more accurate. The siblings discovered a goldmine they could manipulate their way into and felt themselves superior to OP, therefore he must prop them up on. High. Commenter 7 ***. Stories like this piss me off so much as a business school grad. These 2 idiots clearly weren't the top of their class if they see a massively successful business and decide we need to jump in there and fix it. They were just miserable in their iBanking jobs because they sucked at it and therefore were likely getting passed over for bonuses and promotions, so they figured they could just join in the family business. If they had any lick of sense, they could have just let OOP keep running the shop, learn how the business works, and then leverage their iBanking connections for outside funding to expand operations even further, perhaps into new cities/regions of their country. Instead, they sat on their high horses looking down on OOP and ruined a successful business. Commenter *8 ***. Nah. When a business loses its biggest clients, they also lose most of their revenue. Revenue that was already spent on other things like salaries, especially the siblings' salary, rent/mortgage and upkeep. Most likely it will push them into the red quickly as they can't pay for things and would never recover, as downsizing is quite difficult, especially when none of the people in charge have a clue what they are doing. Commenter 9 ***. Sounds like my family. My parents wanted all the kids to be involved in their company, and as a teenager I told them I didn't want it. I was met with the most incredulous why. Because it's going to rip apart the family. It will set you up for a good future though. Nope, it didn't. My siblings couldn't work together. destroyed what was left after my dad made some bad decisions, and now they don't talk to each other anymore. So glad I got out. Commenter 10 ***. My vote is the two siblings went vulture on it, as dad probably had zero idea or interest in the accounts anymore and woke up one day with a business deep in debt that paid hugely inflated salaries and business expenses to the children. Commenter 11 ***. Business degree people seem to have no understanding of human capital. Businesses like the kind OOP ran are based on relationships, not brands, relationships with customers, relationships with employees. OOP understood this and basically just divested his human capital from the business. If they wanted that capital, they shouldn't have pissed him off. Commenter 12 ***, or it will just do great. My friend this to his dad business 6 years on, he doing fine, and his dad has gone bankrupt and his golden sibling are under investigation for embezzlement, and mum is trying to guilt him to hire dad. Commenter 13 ***. My first job was working for a company that experienced this exact thing, minus the one sibling who knew what he was doing, splitting off to form his own company. It never ends well, giving a bunch of uninterested, entitled leeches an ownership stake in a successful business. In the case of the company I worked for, the dad built up a wildly successful company from basically nothing. For the sake of not giving out too many details, he made products for the automotive aftermarket. We had business relationships with almost every tire and lube shop in the country, and he owned 2 factories and about 35 sales and distribution warehouses across the US and Canada, all manufactured in the USA. The year before I joined the company, the original founder died and ownership passed to his 2 idiot kids. They always felt like dad didn't pay himself enough, and that dad was an idiot, and that dad was way too generous with the warehouse monkeys. So their first task after they took ownership, they jacked up their salaries and slashed the salaries of all of the warehouse managers in half. Keep in mind, the warehouse managers were not just to keep the goods flowing out, employees. They were massively successful salespeople, each of them responsible for growing sales into the millions of dollars for each warehouse. And they were paid well to reflect their value to the company. So they cut the salaries of those guys in half. A huge chunk of them quit on the spot, only to be replaced by novices who understood neither sales nor warehouse management. They raised prices on our products and implemented less generous return policies, while also firing and replacing many of our designers and engineers who made the products our customers were buying. After surviving for longer than they deserved to on the back of a legitimately good product that was one of the few to be manufactured in the US, their incompetence eventually forced the company closed about 10 years ago. Commenter 14 ***. I get the impression that dad was trying to basically by a close relationship with the older siblings by giving them whatever they wanted with the business. OOP was safe because they were already close and already spent time together, and the only thing he knew about the older kids was that they worked with money, so he tried to bribe them to like him. Now he's alienated the one kid he had anything in common with, and he's about to sink what's left of his family in a way that's basically guaranteed to make them all hate each other. Fucking father of the year. Commenter ***15***. Now he's alienated the one kid he had anything in common with, his one kid who actually wanted to spend time with him too. All for 2 kids who couldn't have cared less until they saw the price tags. I could practically taste the condescension from them just through OP's retelling, so I hope they're come to Jesus. Holy shit, we don't actually know anything about this business, and turns out dad actually is too old school to compete. Moment comes very soon. Commenter 16 ***. I suspect the dad also disliked some of OOP's changes. He wanted a more chill, small shop and wasn't interested in staying up to date, creating a record of work done, etc. To his credit, he stepped back and let his kid take over instead of insisting on things staying the same, but because he seems to have checked out, he probably didn't recognize how little the other kids' ideas fit in with what the shop had become. From his perspective, it was probably all the same because they were all thinking way bigger than his idea of the shop, plus a little bit of "I thought your ideas were dumb, and look how well they worked, so don't discount your siblings' ideas." Now, I don't agree. I think OOP was right not to want to be in a business with his siblings, and the siblings definitely didn't seem to understand that all. I just suspect the dad is looking at the business from an entirely different lens as OOP. A slightly dream world of a lens. Commenter 17 ***. Yes, exactly. It's like the dad in that other story, who had 2 sons, one who was working in his business and basically running it at some point, and one he wasn't as close to that got a higher degree. And the dad decided to give control of the business to the other son out of guilt for not being as close to him before and believing his degree would help him run it better. Of course the son he was close to did get alienated and did leave, starting another business. That dad regretted it and even tried to have the other son to give him back ownership so he can fix it, but obviously the opportunist son refused, so it was too late to fix anything. Commenter 18 ***, yes, and dad probably also loved that his high-flying business kids finally actually saw value in what he did. Working-class parents with white-collar kids can sometimes feel like they're inferior or being treated like what they do is inferior. Suddenly the smart kids are back and they're interested in him and what he does, and he's eating it up. He gets to be in the dad role for them again. The patriarch, it probably felt really good. Now he's left with a business that none of them know how to run. The key business relationships burned. And he's also been losing his own competency with the work, so there's basically no foundation left other than the business name and their physical assets. Investment bankers aren't going to know how to do anything with that except sell. Their experience doesn't include running any business at all, much less understanding a mechanic shop. Commenter 19 ***, it wasn't that long ago that a friend came to me with very much the same situation with his father. My advice to him, the same I'd give to the OOP, was this: if you're going to be treated like an employee, then act like one. Sadly, every time he tried to work on at least some compromise position, partial ownership, profit sharing, etc., the answer was a definite no. Not only that, but his father refused to write a will, the result of which could be the business being owned by someone he wasn't related to, father's second wife/kids. His father raised hell about him leaving, but now he's with a company which pays far more, has lots of growth potential, and has higher job satisfaction. Years have passed and now dad realizes his mistake. The two have healed their relationship. Commenter 20 ***, they surely disowned OOP. That said, good riddance. The dead weight and ability to outvote OOP was unsustainable, and OOP would have spent the rest of their time in that company beholden to them as the ship sank, and OOP would be blamed for it. Commenter 21 ***, there was another post in a similar vein to this one. OOP worked at his dad's company, but his older brother was co-boss. OOP had asked for some sort of stake in the company but was told no. I think he was in a situation where he was expected to sacrifice everything for the company because family, but only got the benefits of a low-level hourly employee. The company's biggest client let OOP know that they were looking to insource the work that OOP had been doing, so they hired him directly. Dad and brother were furious and said something along the lines of, the fact that you would bail on us when we said we'd treat you like crap shows we were right to never trust you, but less self-aware. Commenter 22 ***, I knew a guy that worked as an auto tech at his grandfather's shop, was in business since the 1950s. His dad also worked there and some uncles. Truly, it was a family business. The problem, he wasn't making a livable wage because they paid him like family. And he was married with 2 kids and one on the way. He asked his grandfather for a labor hour wage increase. He was told it just wasn't possible. Anyway, this young guy was not only a top-notch mechanic but had learned and gone to school on all the more advanced technology on cars. His dad and grandfather were surviving off old technology cars that were aging out. It was this guy that was taking on all the new stuff that came into the shop. A buddy reached out about him taking a tech position at one of the largest Lexus dealers in the entire country. He would start out making double what he was currently making with actual benefits and vacation. His wife could quit her job and be stay-at-home mom. His one income starting out would be more than theirs currently combined, plus no more childcare expense. It was a huge leg up. And as one might expect, his grandfather, father, and uncles were telling him he was running out on family and gaslighting him on the dealership tech trade is awful, and on and on and on. They made it about family and not what was best for him as an employee, and certainly not his own family. He left, and it caused a permanent wedge between him and his grandfather and uncles. His dad was in the middle but eventually came around to realizing he made the right decision for himself. If you a good tech, no diagnostics, and are a hustler, you can make $200K. He said the rift in the family never repaired itself. Commenter 23 ***, I knew a guy that worked as an auto tech at his grandfather's shop, was in business since the 1950s. His dad also worked there and some uncles. Truly, it was a family business. The problem, he wasn't making a livable wage because they paid him like family. And he was married with 2 kids and one on the way. He asked his grandfather for a labor hour wage increase. He was told it just wasn't possible. Anyway, this young guy was not only a top-notch mechanic but had learned and gone to school on all the more advanced technology on cars. His dad and grandfather were surviving off old technology cars that were aging out. IT was this guy that was taking on all the new stuff that came into the shop. A buddy reached out about him taking a tech position at one of the largest Lexus dealers in the entire country. He would start out making double what he was currently making with actual benefits and vacation. His wife could quit her job and be stay-at-home mom. His one income starting out would be more than theirs currently combined, plus no more childcare expense. IT was a huge leg up, and as one might expect, his grandfather, father, and uncles were telling him he was running out on family and gaslighting him on the dealership tech trade is awful, and on and on and on. They made it about family and not what was best for him as an employee, and certainly not his own family. He left, and it caused a permanent wedge between him and his grandfather and uncles. His dad was in the middle but eventually came around to realizing he made the right decision for himself. If you a good tech, no diagnostics, and are a hustler, you can make $200K. He said the rift in the family never repair itself. Commenter 24 ***, nor did they want to do any real work. Why would a local mechanic shop need a CEO and CFO making $200,000 plus salaries? The only answer is that they just wanted cushy jobs in the family business to siphon money with doing no real work, and the reality is that OP's dad was more than happy to do this. This isn't some enterprise business or startup. It's a local pop and son shop that has created a loyal customer base with local mechanics over the years, and any attempt at expansion to something more, only to be eaten alive by far more established competitors, would jeopardize that appeal the second there's a degradation in service. The only way the original shop will remain successful in any capacity is if their dad effectively promotes one of the mechanics who also magically has strong business acumen and is willing to deal with shitty bosses who do nothing and make astronomically more. Commenter 25 ***, yeah. The dad is an idiot. He was probably thinking, oh, my son who just rides on my coattails is still here, coasting off of my business while my actual smart kids are out there changing the world. And then those good kids will come back and my son who couldn't even finish college can just be a mechanic while the smart ones run the place. This will be great. Sometimes people see white-collar jobs they don't understand and assume whoever does it must be a genius, which just isn't true.